Hey guys, just want to come in here and talk about my time from college until I joined the military. Um, so, in May of 2017, I graduated from college with my bachelor's in exercise science. At that point, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I finished up, I played football and rode that way for the last 4 years, and I enjoyed my time. Played football. I went to school in South Dakota. Um, it was very different than California, but I enjoyed my time. So when I graduated, I went back home to California and I applied to a couple police departments. Um, didn't work out for whatever reason. Um, and then from there, I just tried to get a regular job to like hold me over until I got uh, either got a police job or I got some type of career that paid better than just a regular um, like fast food place. But none of those jobs took me as well because it was at around the same time like the high school and all the other college kids were like graduating and stuff like that, were getting out for the summer. And I think it was just really competitive at that time to get a job, or there must have been something wrong with me. Hey, whatever. Um, so I was with my little brother at the time, and I just remember this conversation I had with my uncle the day or before I graduated. He's like, "Oh, you can join the military." I was like, "Nah, that will never happen." But I was with my little brother, and we were walking past a recruiter's office for the army, and just like, let me just walk in and just see what they say. So I walked in. I told them like, "Hey, I'm trying to become a police officer on the in the civilian world. What do you got? I've heard something about like MP or something, but what do you got?" He's like, "Oh yeah, we got all these different contracts like MP. It's just like the police agency on the outside. You just do the same exact thing. You have you work those hours and everything." It's like, okay, cool. Uh, take the took the practice ASVAB. I did all right. I did all right on it. Um, then I told him. He's like, "Oh, so what's your level of education?" Um, he was like, I told him I had my degree, and he's like, "Oh," he's like, he closed the book. He's like, "Oh, so you're going to become an officer?" I was all like, what does that all entail?" And he said, it's just a process. You go through a board. You have to have a certain score on the ASVAB and all that." And I was like, okay, like, I think I can do that. But he says it takes about a year to get put on. And at this point in time in my life, I was just so ready to start working. I was just tired of sitting on my mom's couch and everything because that's when I graduated. I went to the couch because my little sister and my other brother had the room and everything. Um, I was just like, "Do you have anything that's faster?" He's like, "Well, you can enlist, and then after a couple years, you can switch over to the officer world." And I was all like, "Okay, well, I'll be getting some money at that in that point in time, and then I can just go over and then um, get the appropriate amount of money that I was wanting to get in the very beginning." Um, so just a month later, after I walked in there, because I went in on my birthday, July 10th. Then from there, I was shipping off to basic training August the 22nd. It was a real quick turnaround. Um, and then once I got to basic training, I was just like, what did I do? um, yeah, it's really different. It wasn't hard. It was just a real big shock from being in college and having so much freedom. And yeah, I was on the football team and we couldn't do certain things on there, but just someone being in your face 24/7, yelling and screaming at you, and then not just being able to talk to your family. I've been yelled at in like football and like sports and stuff like that, but just at the end of the day, not being able to see your family and decompress with them and everything. So because I'm a big family person and not having that was pretty tough for me, but I made it through. Got through basic training and everything. Then from there, I graduated. Then I got stationed down in Fort Meade, Maryland. Um, and I enlisted as an MP. So once I got there, I thought I was going to be with like the MP like detachment there, um, but I got placed with the CID unit as a drug investigator. So that was pretty neat, I guess. Got to see a different side of the MP world in a sense. It kind of spoiled me because I got to wear civilian clothes and I didn't wear my uniform hardly ever like went by specialists or anything like that. So I kind of got used to that. Then my dream of becoming an officer kind of like went by the wayside because I was so involved in what I was doing with CID. I kind of didn't even think about it, but I started the process to try to get promoted because I came in as an E4 specialist, and then after about a year and a half, had my time and grade and time in service, so I picked. I started to finish SSD1. Went to BLC. I went to the board and everything, so that all got taken out of the way. Then I was just waiting on points, and I'm pretty good at physical training, PT or whatever. So I did well in that, and I'm a decent shot. So as along with my my college credits, so all that gave me a pretty good amount of points. So I only waited probably about maybe 1 month after I made after all my certifications were up and all the things that I needed were in place. It only took me about 1 month to get to pick up my E5 sergeant, so that was a pretty good deal. I would say picking up that quick was it wouldn't have been as bad if I was in a regular line unit, so I can learn the ins and outs of what being just a regular MP entails, because I've only learned the investigative side with DST. There are certain things that I still did not know because I wasn't doing regular line unit MP stuff. So since the position I was in was just a E4, it was a E4 position, I got moved and I got stationed in South Korea to South Korea. So that's where I'm at currently. So once I got here, it was a complete different world. With there's a lot more people here. It's in the company, just regular MP line unit, and I was given soldiers that I'm supposed to lead and everything. And there's things that I'm supposed to be teaching them, but we're learning it at the same time, which is no problem. Like I'm still able to guide them in the right direction while I'm learning it too, and able to distribute it down to them. So it's a lot of learning for me because where I was at before, I wasn't teaching anybody anything. I was always learning. But now being in a position where I'm supposed to be able to teach and help these soldiers do certain tasks and everything, it's been pretty challenging, but I like that challenge. But before I left to Fort Meade, I had put in my packet for Green and Gold ROTC. I know people will say, why didn't you do OCS? It's because I wanted to get my master's degree before I got out. So I put in a packet for that. So we're seeing if I get accepted or not. I know it should be in about a couple weeks now to see if I get accepted or not, and go from there. And I know with that, if I do get selected, I would cut my time in Korea short. I would probably be leaving in July time frame, and I would go back to the school I'm going to is Bowie State in Maryland, and enjoy that time. So from there, I'm just trying to enjoy my time in Korea, work and learn as much as I can. I know it's not, both situations are both not usual Army, like or at Fort Campbell, Fort Hood, or anything like that, but I'm learning a lot of different aspects that the Army does provide for a soldier, and learning the soldier task as well as the NCO task. Then hopefully, once I become an officer, the officer task. Um, so just seeing all the different angles of how the Army is ran from each angle, besides the warrant officer angle. But so far, I'm enjoying my Army career. It has been tough, but anything in life that is tough is worth having. If it's not challenging or difficult for you, then you probably don't want it. So, um, I've been enjoying my time here and just trying to learn as much as I can. So once I do commission over, I can be the best leader and officer I can be. Um, and that's my story as of right now. Um, I'll let you know where I go from here. Thank you. Bye.